Welcome to the WBZ Universe, where I'm creating the next massive sci-fi fantasy universe right here on YouTube. Please smack a like for number 7 of 52 in 2023, The Sphinx of Genesis. Strap in, her story is critical to every aspect of the Milky Way Academy and the galaxy as a whole. Of all the videos, this is the one that's most important to really pay attention to. The Sphinx are unique eternal beings with godlike powers. Their physical traits and appearances vary wildly from Sphinx to Sphinx. Nothing is known for sure about the origins of the Sphinx, but it is thought that the programmer, the name the APA has given to God or the Creator, set them into motion when the universe first launched. In the known Milky Way galaxy, the most common belief of origin of existence is similar to that of a biological and physics program set to run for all eternity without further interference, other than scheduled maintenance. This is easiest to imagine if you think of an operating system running inside a computer called the universe. This theory came to be from the code written in the DNA of all living things set to evolve over time as if a program is running within all of us. Of course, we call this evolution. It is also believed that the laws of physics that have governed the universe are set like the parameters of a complex program as well. The more we understand this complex program, the more we can accomplish within it. How to make fire, how to forge metals or reach outer space, how to harness energy, stuff like that. Being hands-off, fail-safes were put into place to clean up any messes that arise from the code to help the code along when needed to prevent unwanted outcomes. The Sphinx of Genesis is thought to be one of those fail-safes. She travels the galaxy, possibly beyond, in a massive egg-shaped ship the size of a planet, cleansing intelligent life off the planets she encounters. She does this very slowly by visiting each planet that has intelligent life one by one. This causes natural disasters on an apocalyptic scale. During this process, she also sends her drones. The drones are small locust-like creatures that disintegrate any metal or plastic they come into contact with. All it takes is one touch from these drones to start the process, as if it has corrupted the very code that holds these materials together. Finally, she and an army of obedient captives invade the planet and begin a genocidal process that only leaves 4 of every advanced species alive. First are the 2 best warriors, which she places under her control during battle, and lastly, the final male and female of the species. These last 2 survivors of each species are tasked with repopulating the planet without the benefit of any of their technology. Whether they succeed or go extinct is of no concern to the Sphinx of Genesis. She just moves on to the next planet because her job here is done. The popular belief that this has happened in the past stems from the thousands of mythologies, religions, and folklore in the galaxy that speak of flood or apocalypse myths, as well as the sparing of 2 of each species. This is found not only in the Garden of Eden and Noah's Ark, but almost every culture has a flood creation myth, from Native Americans to Greek mythology to the Hindus, and the list goes on and on. It's thought that the species that this happened to built these stories into their mythologies and their folklore to help these stories live on for future generations. Even the dinosaurs of Earth might have fallen prey to this fate, but if there was a species who could communicate in a meaningful way, they were not successful in surviving the rebuilding process and fell to extinction. As mentioned in the video with Commander Yaz, I will place a card here and link to the video in the description. Our information is limited to what he and his comrades witnessed during their battle with Genesis, but basically she and her ship were witnessed by Commander Yaz and his crew while they were building a window, the fast travel system that connects the galaxy. After observing her for some time, he brought a warning to the Advanced Planet Alliance and collected 2 of each alien species for himself, the top warrior and top scientist from each culture. They all pooled their knowledge and abilities and trained together on the next planet in her path until she arrived, and the battle began. Yaz's team was victorious, but few survived. Those who did formed the Milky Way Academy on that very spot to help prevent what happened from ever happening again, by once again pooling collective resources, skills, and knowledge of each species, forming a coalition of guardians to help defend each planet from outside threats. Commander Yaz was not one of the survivors, but his legacy lives on to this day. Speaking of surviving, I want this universe to survive long enough to take on the Marvel MCU and the Star Wars galaxy. To do that, please subscribe and also hit that notification bell so that you know when I go live and you know when I release my next video. What we did learn from this battle about the Sphinx of Genesis is this: even without her mindless servants, she is incredibly powerful. She has superhuman strength and the ability to levitate. A single bite from her snake-like tail will place the victim under her control immediately. She has red eyes and horns on her head, and she is extremely fast and quick. It is thought that Genesis could use polarity, our magic system, without tiring and without pulsing. They are not sure if this is how she did it, but her ability to hover in the air is a strong sign that this is true. She also appeared to emit energy from her body, as if the energy in her body was so intense that her body could not contain it. This also may account for her ability to live eternally and for her to use polarity without limit. She does have some form of mind control ability and possibly telepathy as well. Her servants appeared to know what to do without verbal instructions, but it is possible her venom contains some form of chemical instructions as well, so nobody knows for sure. There are conflicting accounts of how tall she is. She's, somewhere between 5 feet and 6 feet tall, but she's definitely not an oversized adversary. Because of her ability to recruit mindless warriors to her side, it is thought she grows more powerful with every planet she cleanses. The survivors of the Battle of Genesis are tight-lipped about the details of how they defeated the Sphinx, and there are several factions in the APA that believe she is not fully dead, as she was believed to be eternal. But her planet-sized ship still orbiting the planet above the Milky Way Academy causes speculation that her body or spirit is still there somewhere. The most dangerous of these factions are the Cynicidals. This is the religion or cult that spans across all advanced species within the galaxy. Many of the more extreme religions morphed into this cult that believes that Genesis should have been allowed to finish her job, and we are all sinning by simply still existing. Whether this is a cult or a religion is up for debate, but from the perspective of the Milky Way Academy, as just about anybody could be a member of this violent group. To the Cynicidals, everyone is expendable because nobody in this galaxy should be alive anymore anyway. This is one of the largest and most consistent threats they face. The planet-sized ship orbiting the Milky Way Academy appears to maintain a safer distance than it did when the battle was raging on. Attempts to explore or enter the ship have been fruitless so far. The surface cannot be touched by any metal or plastic without disintegrating. Once this was discovered, the APA declared it and its surrounding space off limits. The potential threat of that chemical compound, the one that would disintegrate the metal or plastic, being weaponized is 1,000 times more dangerous than a nuclear weapon possessed on Earth. Armies would not only be able to decimate those they invade, but any force that counterattacked would be rendered useless. No resistance would be possible. To ensure there would be no secret missions to that planet, each planet in the APA has parked ships and satellites to orbit it just outside of the no-fly zone for security. To the Cynicidals, the Sphinx of Genesis should have been able to finish the process she started. To the Milky Way University, however, they see her as a test. Perhaps humanity is given a certain amount of time to unlock their full potential, defeat the Sphinx of Genesis, and if not, Genesis will hit the restart button. To them, she is a benchmark in evolution. Thank you for watching, and click the next video to go further down the rabbit hole.
I'm the kingpin, top dog, top flow, boss mode. I'm the kingpin, showstopper, top dog, godfather. I'm the kingpin.